wondering what the process was like when you first hear from David about this, his thinking and what the process has been over the last few days.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like everyone, David for a few months now has been trying to, wrap his arms around everything. And, I've talked to him off and on over the last couple months. Dave has as well. And, he came in on Wednesday and was of the mind that he was going to play. And then I think just talking to his family, it kind of arrived at this point. And, my role in this has been just to support him through it and, not have any kind of rooting interest in what is a very personal decision.
Did it surprise you at all?
It's one of those things that everyone's internalizing everything going on differently. So, I don't know that there are any right or wrong answers at this point. And, it's something that, I know has been on his mind for a while now. And I think the allure of playing with his teammates that he created a great bond with in spring training was what was, kind of pushing him to do it. But ultimately, just got to a point where he wasn't comfortable. And I think, again, this is more for him to talk about. I don't want to, put words in his mouth and, share things that he wouldn't want. I think it's better for him to address them, but he has been in contact with us throughout, and it wasn't clear which way it was going to play out, but we supported him along the way.
Just the nuts and bolts of this. Does he fall into a high-risk category, and will he be paid this year?
Yeah, that is something that's being handled by Major League Baseball and the PA. And I know that they're having ongoing discussions about players and how to handle this. So I think that's a question better directed for one of those two parties. From our standpoint, whatever the agreement is and however things play out is what we'll abide by. But we are, sitting in the cheap seats on those talks.
Does this put Ross Stripling into the rotation at this point?
Not clear. I mean, Ross is capable of doing a lot of things, and in our mind, he's an above-average starting pitcher. And how things play out, right now we're just kind of taking things one day at a time and not thinking too far out. But there's no question in our mind that Ross is very capable of being a really good starting pitcher in the big leagues.
Andrew, does this mean is David allowed to come back at this point of the season? At what point does he have to sort of make a formal decision, or how's this process going to go in that regard?
It's not perfectly clear. I think that MLB and the PA are still talking through that. And so, it's another question that's better directed to them. It's not clear at this point.
So there's a chance he could, theoretically, I guess, come play for you guys this year still?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know exactly how things will shake out, but, I'm expecting to get more clarity on that at some point.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any reason to expect other players to make this, to decide to opt out?
I don't. But that being said, things are fluid. I really don't. But, again, we're just kind of taking everything one day at a time right now.
still get $16 million from the Red Sox if you're not paying David Price?
I wouldn't think so, but I'm not sure exactly how that works.
Andrew, what about the luxury tax implications if Price is not paid this season? Do you know how that would affect your guys' calculations?
I do not. With this 60-game season and 66 days and the expanded rosters, there's a lot CBT-wise that I don't know, and I'm not sure that MLB knows at this point either. I expect that we will get some guidance on that in the next week or so, but it's way down my list of things that I'm focused on and worried about right now.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Have these first 2 days gone as sort of you envisioned or expected?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, it's great to, have the band back together, and it's been great seeing guys and catching up with various people and getting guys out on the field and, watching them, start the process of getting back into real game shape. It's been a little bit awkward. I anticipated that, but until you live it, you don't really know. I think day one was much more so than today. So I think each day everyone's getting more and more comfortable and accustomed to the new protocols. And I think the fact is that everyone is fully committed and on board to doing everything we can to compete, play, and win a championship. So it makes it easier. But I think it's going to take a few days or a week to, get to some sense of normalcy, where at least it's, where there is that, kind of comfort with just the changes and the differences. But, again, the ultimate goal remains the same, and I think that's what everyone's most focused on. So I have confidence that we'll get there.
Because of the shortened season, do you kind of take the innings restrictions off of your young guys like Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin, and are they candidates to be in the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Dustin really had any coming into this year, just based on his track record in the minor leagues and the consistency that he's had. Obviously, Tony missed some time last year, so it's just kind of rethinking that. But now it's a shortened season, which definitely changes things. But we were counting on him for, a lot of innings anyway. And so, it's one of those things that we feel like, hold on, it's one of those things where I feel like, we've got a lot of really capable arms that can take down innings, whether that's in a starting role or a bullpen role. But a lot of guys that we feel like will help us, get 27 outs each night.